All right, here we go. Welcome into Power5 FPL. What we're basically going to do is we're going to take different players, different positions, different kits, and we're just going top 5, ranking them, not always based on their price in FPL or things like that. We'll get into that down the line. But we're going to jump into this week's. We're going to do the top 5 midfielders not named Son, Salah, or KDB. I think we all know Son, Salah, KDB, 13, 12, and 12. Definitely going to eat up a lot of your value. Definitely going to put up a lot of points. But are those points going to come, at the expense of having your team, a little bit thin in other positions because of their prices? So my number one, no, I'm sorry. Let's go back. We'll go number 5 first. My number 5, and this could go, a couple different ways, but I'm going Mason Mount. I think Mason Mount, he seems extremely accurate. I think Chelsea's attack is a little bit more the issue. He put up good numbers last year. He seems to be as nailed as anybody on that team is. So Mason Mount, he definitely has playmaking skills. He's got a radar lock on goal. He had a sweet goal against, I think it was Club America in the preseason. He had some beauties last year. So Mason Mount, he's 8. He's in that group with all those 8.0 midfielders. I think he's pretty solid. I think the questions more lie around what's going on with Chelsea. All of Liverpool. Liverpool seems to be doing okay. I know Burnley had a pretty big investment from what I think was an American company, and they went down. I can't say that that's their fault, but yeah, I think Mount is. I think he could be a really good pick. But right now he's at 5. In the 4 slot, I actually had to split this just because I know I'll hear both of these players. Dejan Kulusevski and Luis Diaz for Liverpool, or Kulusevski for Spurs. The reason I put them together is because they're both kind of new, right? They both came in January, I think, of last season. Both fit in pretty quick. I mean, you want to talk about getting on with your new team pretty well. Diaz came in. He looked electric. He looks kind of, like a little bit physical, too. He's not the kind of guy that seems like he's going down easy. He seems like he's got a lot of power, a lot of burst. Seems like he knows what he's doing in the box, how to finish, and a willing passer. So obviously with a guy like Salah on the other side, you got Jota in there, no Mane this year, Darwin Nunez coming in. It's hard to make a case that Luis Diaz is not probably going to be, let's just say he's 10 and 10. I think if he gets the minutes that people expect, 10 and 10 goals, 10 assists, is very, very doable. And at his 8.0 price, that's not bad. It seemed like he probably would have been on pace to do a little bit better than that if he had played the whole season. But again, no Mane. There are other. Trent and Robo can obviously score. Liverpool's loaded head to toe, right? Obviously anybody playing FPL knows that, or watching Premier League knows that. But he's pretty great. He looks like he's slipping right in there, and he could be a nice addition to any team. And Kulusevski, I think he's fantastic. I really do. I guess people are saying, well, with Richarlison being in there, maybe the playing time's not going to be guaranteed. Okay, I guess. I'm not the biggest Richarlison fan. I feel like he loves himself some yellows and some reds, as in cards. What was it, like 2 or 3 seasons ago? He straight up headbutted a dude. 10, 15 minutes into the game, I believe it was against Bournemouth. That was straight red, so he missed games. I'm pretty sure he's either accumulated yellow cards to be and get a suspension the season before, and then last year I feel like if he didn't get a red, he flirted with it. So I don't see him as being the one that's going to hold up Kulusevski in Premier League play. Sure, maybe some of the Champions League, some of the FA Cup. But I don't know. Son, Kane, Kulusevski. That seems like that front 3 should just be nailed. Just get some tablets out like old Moses, man, and just hammer those names into the starting lineup. I might be a little biased. I love the dude. I think he's electric. I think he understands how to play with Son and Kane. I don't know who's going to be behind him. It was when Doherty was healthy. He was great. But it sounds like from what people are saying, he might not even be there to start the season. But what seemed nice was that was a partnership getting up the pitch, and then Kulusevski, he can finish too. He definitely was willing to feed to Son and Kane. He knows what he's there for. But that dude had some nice goals. So those two at 8, Kulusevski and Diaz are for Liverpool are in the 4 spot. The 3 spot, I'm going JamesMadison. I just feel like he's grown up a little bit. Like he looks like he's a little bigger. He's got his man bones, and he seems like he wants it. Like he doesn't just want to be a good player. I think he wants to be a great player. I think he wants to put on a show to guarantee him a spot on that England World Cup side, which you like to see in general. I'm sure if you're an English National League team fan, you love to see that competition. But he absolutely seems like he wants it. He seems like he's got the skills. The end of last year, I don't know, man. Vardy was in and out of that lineup, and Leicester did have an up and down season. But for their standards, I think since they won the Premier League, like they seem to hang out in the top 6, top 8. But this year, from what people are saying, was okay. No European football, that might be a good thing. I think it keeps guys like Vardy healthier, which Madison, obviously he has him on the pitch. That's great for Madison. But Madison, free kicks, corners, assists. I think he's Grealish on steroids, like personally, and I love Grealish. Like I think Grealish is fantastic. So, but I think Madison is a guy that might even take it to another level this year if he gets ahead of what he did last year, and he would miss a fair amount of games last year. I think top for me, he's the third in the top 5 of this, and then jumping up to number 2, it's Bukayo Saka. He did about everything for Arsenal last year. He looks nailed. As far as anybody of the guys that we've talked about, I'd say Mount just because he seems like he's a little more. But, Saka, Arteta loves him. Saka does the business, man. He breaks people down. He gets by him in the box. He can finish. He's a willing passer. There's not much not to like about this guy. Young guy also. He was one of the guys that stepped up against Italy in the World Cup. In the Euros. He missed that PK, but he stepped up to take it. There were some other dudes on that squad who I was kind of like, why are you letting the 18, 19-year-old take it? Not like I was worried, not like he's not a great player, but it's kind of like, it seems like there should have been a little bit more leadership. But he stepped up. It didn't work out. Hey, the only thing I'll say on that real quick, though, is don't go to, you get the Italians in a World Cup or Euro final. You got to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. Don't let it go to the cards, as they say. And the cards in this case being PKs. Because Italy, they can blow it and not even make a tournament, but man, they get in and they're trouble. So, but I think Saka now with Jesus, Martinelli, Smith Rowe still comes in there, Odegaard. You've got a good Arsenal squad there, a good group of young guys, and young guys like to play together. Still in that like early 20s. Like everything, is clicking for those guys. So I think they're going to be great. And then the number 1. I guess some people, just because of who he plays for, or they think the beginning of the season is going to be tough for him, but I don't see how the top 8 midfielder is not Jared Bowen. When he came up, a few years ago, it was the end of the season, got a little bit of action, and the next season, he's obviously playing a little bit more. Got himself about 8 and 6, not bad at all. Goals and assists, and then last season, I don't know what to say. 12 goals, 17 assists. Okay, the 17 assists, maybe he doesn't repeat that, but say he gets to 12 and 12. How is that not going to be a top 10 midfielder at 12 and 12? And personally, I think he can do it again. I think he's their number 1 attacking option. Maybe people are always like, yeah, dude, that's obvious. But, you have Antonio there, so clearly no European football for West Ham either. So that could help, Antonio, get his minutes up, get his fitness up, and be on the pitch for all the Premier League games. But come on, man. First of all, Bowen, it didn't seem, the bigger clubs didn't seem to be a problem for him. He definitely scored against teams like City. Actually, I believe they either drew or beat City. I can't remember that exactly, but he definitely put in a goal, maybe 2. I think he's fantastic. I really do. I think he can beat people. I think he finishes a little bit like Danny Ings, very clinical when he needs to be, but he's also got some flair and some pizzazz. I think he's the guy. I think he's the best midfielder, not named Son, Salah, or KDB, as we said. And I definitely think and I know he's 8.5, but he's in that 8 bracket. I just can't see it not doing. Not to mention that all that went along, all of his goals and assists last year, and he pulled out 24 bonus points. I don't know. I think Jared Bowen is going to have a remarkable season. I don't think the fixtures matter. I think he's one of those guys, the fixtures don't matter. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's going to do what Son or Salah do. I'm just saying against the bigger clubs, when they go to attack and, he gets some nice balls, out to him in front that he can latch onto. I like it. And against the medium clubs, I think, those guys want to play each other toe-to-toe. So, he's looking at maybe some of the bottom table who are going to try and pack it in, and that's great. But I don't see that being enough to inhibit him to not be the best of the 8 million midfielders. So that's what we got. The Power 5, top 5, all the midfielders not named Son, Salah, or KDB. 5, Mason Mount. 4, Dejan Kulusevski and Luis Diaz for Liverpool and Spurs. 3, JamesMadison. 2, Bukayo Saka. Number 1, Jared Bowen. And that's what we got this week. Top 5, Power 5 to get your season started. All those midfielders. So good luck with your FPL teams and getting week 1 ready. And we'll see you soon.